You are sitting in your car, the engine off, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight your knuckles have turned white. The radio is silent. You aren't crying. You aren't sad. You are vibrating with a rage that has no name, no clear target, and no logical origin. It feels like a storm trapped inside a glass jar, pressing against the walls of your ribs, demanding to be let out. You look at your reflection in the rearview mirror, and you don't recognize the person staring back. You feel dangerous. You feel broken. And the most terrifying part? You can't explain why. If this channel has helped you understand yourself even a little better, please hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps more people find this content who need it. Most people believe that empaths are soft, porous creatures who absorb the world's pain and dissolve into it. We are taught that if we feel anger, it is because we have failed to maintain our boundaries, or because we are reacting to a specific injustice. But here is what most people misunderstand about the empathic experience. Sometimes, the rage you feel is not a reaction to what is happening around you. It is a reaction to what is happening within the dynamic of your own empathy. Specifically, when high cognitive empathy intersects with darker personality traits, a phenomenon known as the dark empath emerges. And for these individuals, unexplainable anger is not a bug in the system. It is a feature. Let's dismantle this. First, we must understand the architecture of this rage. Imagine your nervous system as a highly sensitive radar dish. For a typical empath, this dish picks up emotional signals and processes them with compassion. But for a dark empath, the dish is calibrated differently. It doesn't just receive, it analyzes, it calculates. When you feel this sudden, paralyzing fury that seems to come from nowhere, it is often your subconscious mind recognizing a threat that your conscious mind has been gaslighting you into ignoring. This is where the real danger begins. You are not angry because you are losing control. You are angry because your intuition is screaming that you are being manipulated, even if you cannot yet articulate how. Here's where it gets really interesting. Neuroscience tells us that mirror neurons allow us to simulate the experiences of others. In a dark empath, these neurons are hyperactive, but they are coupled with a prefrontal cortex that is highly strategic. You feel everything, but you also judge everything. When you are in a relationship with a narcissist or an energy vampire, you are performing immense emotional labor. You are managing their moods, predicting their triggers, and suppressing your own needs to keep the peace. This suppression creates a pressure cooker. The rage you feel is the accumulated weight of every time you swallowed your truth to preserve their ego. That is not instability. That is integrity fighting to survive. Consider the metaphor of a deep ocean current. On the surface, the water may appear calm, reflecting the sky, peaceful and still. This is the persona you present to the world. You are polite. You are accommodating. You are the good friend, the understanding partner. But beneath the surface, there is a turbulent, freezing current moving with immense force. This is your shadow self. In Jungian psychology, the shadow contains the parts of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. For the dark empath, the shadow holds the aggression, the desire for power, and the refusal to be victimized any longer. When you feel unexplainable rage, it is the deep current crashing against the surface. It is your psyche demanding that you stop pretending the water is calm when you know, in your bones, that a storm is coming. But here's the twist. Society tells us that anger is destructive. We are conditioned to view rage as a loss of sovereignty, a moment where we become too much. However, for the sensitive person who has been drained, burned, and shattered by one-sided dynamics, anger is actually a form of self-preservation. It is the immune system of the soul. Just as a fever burns to kill a virus, your rage burns to incinerate the lies you have been telling yourself. It destroys the illusion that you can love someone into treating you with respect. It collapses the fantasy that if you just try harder, they will finally see you. This rage is not your enemy. It is your ally. It is the part of you that refuses to be destroyed. Now here's the part that makes this genuinely dangerous to certain people. When a dark empath stops absorbing and starts reflecting, the dynamic shifts permanently. Narcissists and manipulators rely on your confusion. They rely on your willingness to doubt your own perception. But when that unexplainable rage surfaces, it brings clarity. It cuts through the cognitive dissonance. You suddenly see the pattern. You see the manipulation. You see the emptiness behind their charm. And because you possess high cognitive empathy, you understand exactly how to dismantle them. You don't need to shout. You don't need to fight. You simply withdraw your energy. You become untouchable. And to a person who feeds on your attention, your silence is the most violent act imaginable. Here's a fun fact that genuinely blew my mind. Research into the dark triad traits, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, usually suggests these individuals lack empathy. But recent studies show a subset of people who score high on these traits and high on empathy. These are the dark empaths. They are not monsters. They are survivors. They have learned that feeling everything makes them vulnerable. So they have developed a shield of strategic detachment. The rage you feel is the friction between your natural desire to connect and your learned necessity to protect. It is the sound of your armor tightening. It is uncomfortable, yes, but it is keeping you alive. So how do we work with this rage instead of letting it consume us? We must reframe it. Stop asking, "Why am I so angry?" and start asking, what is this anger protecting? Is it protecting your time, your dignity, your sanity? When you identify the boundary that has been crossed, the rage loses its chaotic energy and transforms into discernment. Discernment is the ability to see things as they truly are, without the filter of hope or fear. It is cold, it is sharp, and it is absolutely necessary. That is not coldness. That is sovereignty. You are no longer absorbing their chaos. You are observing it. And in that observation, you find your power. And here's the truth nobody tells you. The rage will not disappear until you stop betraying yourself. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you feed the fire. Every time you minimize your pain to make someone else comfortable, you add fuel to the explosion. The unexplainable anger is a signal that you are living out of alignment with your true self. It is a call to action. It is demanding that you walk away from the situations, the people, and the habits that require you to shrink. It is demanding that you choose peace over performance. It is demanding that you become whole, not by fixing yourself, but by freeing yourself. So here is what I want to leave you with today. Do not fear your rage. Do not medicate it into silence. Do not shame yourself for feeling it. Sit with it. Listen to it. Let it show you where you have been abandoned by others, and more importantly, where you have abandoned yourself. Use it as a compass. Let it guide you toward the exits. Let it forge you into someone who is no longer available for exploitation. You are not broken because you feel this fire. You are waking up. And once you are awake, you can never go back to sleep. Which sign of this hidden rage hit the hardest for you? Have you ever experienced this sudden, unexplainable fury? I read every single one. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear that their anger is valid, that their sensitivity is strength, and that they are not alone in this journey. Thank you for trusting me with your story. Go gently, but go firmly. You are done shrinking.